We're here at Outerbike demoing some bikes, and as you can see, there are so many bikes and so little time. So I've enlisted the help of my husband, Steve, to help me with some of the reviews.
Today we are at Moab Outerbike Fall 2017, demoing the Ibis Mojo HD4. This HD4 is a cool bike. This is the bike the Ibis Enduro team rides. It's running X01 Eagle 12-speed, Fox 36 up front, Fox DPX2 on the back. The cool thing about these frames is they can run up to a 2.8 tire. Right now we're running 2.6s. Has a 64.8 degree head angle. That is slack. This is a race bike through and through, but it's still pretty dang playful. One of my favorite riders, Jeff Kendall Weed, rides this. He rides the way I want to ride. One thing I love about Ibis is how they run such short chain stays, which makes it so much fun when you're trying to lift the front wheel, have some fun, get playful. One thing I wish was a little different, I wish the seat tube was a little lower. Oh, this thing corners so well. Surprising how well it climbs too with the 65 degree head angle. That is so slack. You can feel it's an enduro race bike. It's kind of floppy at slow speeds. It's no floppier than any other enduro bike, but like the Mojo 3, their plus bike, that thing's so cool at slow speeds. Like this, it just carves. And this does fine, but if you're not flying really fast, this isn't the right bike for you. Let's go take it on some black diamonds. This bike really wakes up when it gets chunky and fast. I'm loving the 2.6 tires, especially on these wide Ibis rims. It doesn't feel like the wheelbase is super long. On a medium, 5'6". This is one of the Black Diamond trails here. This bike wants to get airborne. I see why Jeff Kendall Weed loves it. Playful bike. Oh, it manuals so well. And I'm carrying speed into stuff. Oh, jumps so well. Carrying more speed into things than I should be. It's surprising how, even though it's an enduro race bike, it's still fun on these mellow trails. For being a burly enduro bike, this thing climbs really well. This is a DW Link bike. Ibis hires Dave Weigel to design their suspension. They tell them what they want the ride to be like and what their design parameters are, and he designs it for them. DW, Dave Weigel, also designs suspension for Evil bikes and Pivot and probably a few others. Good little techie climb. Those of you who are fans of Shimano brakes will like these. I'm not a fan. They kind of feel more like an on-off switch to me. X01 Eagle's flawless. Haven't had to use the granny yet. I think 11 speeds are just fine. These 2.6 tires do great. Really like them. So climbing compared to my Bronson, very similar. I think I still like the VPP more than the DW Link myself. Loose little ledgy section here. All right. 0 pedal strikes so far. But it doesn't feel like a high bottom bracket, which is a great combo. I love low bottom brackets. It doesn't feel like an insane wheelbase. I don't know how they did that. Maybe it's a short chainstay. I'm wandering a little on the climbs here. These are the carbon wheels, they're awesome. But when they're that wide, you can really play with pressure without it getting squirmy and rolling. So on these 2.6s, I'm going pretty low. See how that feels. Let's see if we can catch up with anyone on the downs. Or ups. Feeling the tire pressure difference now. Oh, this manuals so well. That's one thing I love about Ibis bikes. They are so playful. Even their enduro race machine. I thought it wouldn't be, but it is. Need a bigger rotor up front. Oh, this thing just wants to fly. One thing I don't like about Ibis is when they route their brake cable right there. It's near the crank. I haven't had any problems with it, but it's a little bit annoying. It's also scary that it goes on the down tube. If you're running shuttle runs with a truck tailgate protector, it's going to be smashing your cable. I don't love internal brake lines. I don't know what else they could have done, but I don't like running it there. I would have run it along there or something. I don't know. I'm just not using enough of the fork, so I'm going to take some air out and see how it does. I know it's sacrilegious to a lot of people, and I'm not just a SRAM fan. I'm not getting along with this Fox 36. The rebound is... I like a fast rebound, but it pops out. It's a full extension and slams into the stops. It's a good match for this bike because it's so stout, but I just can't dial it in yet. I love my bike. This is the stiffest Ibis yet in their links, and I can feel it. It's great. Manuals so well. The only time I'm getting pedal strokes is in the 50-tooth granny gear on the Eagle, because I'm going so slow, pedaling so fast, I can't pause and wait for the pedal strike moment to pass me by. It climbs really well though. It's not fun to climb. But it's not awful. This bike has a Fox transfer post, and while I like it better than a Lev, a little bit slow, and I prefer a RockShox reverb dropper post. But this would be okay. I wouldn't swap it if my bike came with the transfer. I like that it's cable actuated. What happens on this bike to me is I get going down and then it just speeds up, and then I'm coming into corners faster than I can handle, because I'm not expecting it to pick up that much speed. Totally meant for the downhill. And the slack head angle means you have to lean it a ton to corner it right. Oh, I love this trail. My favorite part of the bike so far are these Ibis 742 carbon wheels and the 2.6 tires. The rims are so wide though, I'm finding myself hitting the sidewalls a lot on climbs, and it'll actually spin me out where I'm used to the lugs getting on the side a little more. So that's taking some getting used to. You can see a few spots where the sidewalls tried to grab, but there's nothing there. I think that's just due to the profile being so wide. But I think 2.6 is an amazing tire size. Standing and sprinting, well, this bike definitely prefers speed though. So for trail riding, while it does all right, it just wants to go fast. Pumps well. You really have to lean it, but it's fun when you do. It doesn't feel like a long wheelbase, which I love. All right, I'm gonna rate this bike out of 10. Climbing, 8 out of 10. It's efficient, not super fun, but it's fine. Flat, 8 out of 10, it's fine. Downhill, 10 out of 10. Rating this for playing around and goofing off, wheeling, jumping, slashing corners, gonna give it a 9 out of 10. It's one of the most playful enduro bikes I've ridden, but the Mojo 3 and the 5010 win for overall playfulness. All right, thoughts on the Mojo 4. Fun bike. It's too much bike for most people, in my opinion, including me. If I was doing shuttle runs all the time, this would be a great option. But for slow speed stuff, while it's still plenty efficient, it still gets through stuff, and it doesn't feel slow or heavy, it's not particularly playful or fun. But when it gets going down and you're hitting 20, 30 miles an hour, that's when this bike really shines. Because of the 64.8 degree head angle, it's really slack. To get it to turn sharp turns, it requires a ton of leaning and a ton of body English, more than most beginner and intermediate riders can handle. And I think it's more of a race weapon. It's stout. If there's one word I could describe it, is it's stout. It's like Chuck Norris. It's just super burly. Love the wheels and tires. I don't feel like it needs an Eagle drivetrain. The 52 is so slow. I'd be fine with 11 speed, but whatever. It bobs a little bit more than my Santa Cruz VPP, but it doesn't bother me. It bobs less than the Mojo 3 did. Fun bike. I wish Ibis made a bike between this and the Mojo 3. I think that could be the perfect bike, like a 140 millimeter trail bike for everybody. Who knows, maybe that's too close to the Mojo 3, but this thing will gobble up big stuff. It's a full-on enduro bike that's still short enough in the rear end that you can manual quite well, and I love that you can fit up to 2.8 tires. These 2.6 is rock. Love the wheel set. It's quiet. There's no play in anything. It's stiff. Fun bike. Probably not the ideal bike for me because I don't do enough enduro racing or just shuttled runs where I'm just flying downhill. But if I did, it's one of my more favorite enduro bikes. Sadly, I still cannot ride like Jeff Kendall Weed even when I ride his bike.